Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Solana. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that. Before watching this one, it's going to be linked in the top right hand corner of the screen. Now, taking a look at the daily chart here, we covered Solana during the live stream earlier in the day, and I showed you this rising wedge pattern and the potential target that we could have at $83.50, which is where the wedge was created. So this is a bearish reversal pattern. We have two touches off of the resistance, and we have a few touches off of the support here of the pattern. We are very close to the apex, and typically this pattern leads to a breakdown. And hopefully getting down to $84 or $83.50 to be precise is something that we can achieve for those of you who are still looking to buy into Solana, because if you haven't bought in yet, you should be looking for some nice support levels. I would not be looking at the current prices. Anywhere above $100 is going to be too expensive. If you've been following the channel for a while, we have been covering Solana for a very long time. So we went through this entire dip here. I gave you these blue support blocks way in advance. So you could have caught this bottom here. You could have caught this bottom here if you had buy limit orders set up in advance. And right now you could be sitting in, at massive profits if you actually followed through and you did your research and you set up all of these blocks yourself. Because when we set these up, I think we were sitting somewhere in here before we gave you these blocks in these areas based on previous touches. So that's for that, for a bit of a history lesson there. But looking at the current situation, if we take a look at the RSI, let's see what's going on over here. We're pulling back down, printing a lower high here, and the same thing is happening on the price action. This shows weakness, so therefore more chances of seeing this breakdown that we're looking for. The 20 MA is still being held as support. We could briefly lose that if Bitcoin starts pulling back down, which is obviously going to drag a lot of the altcoins down. What we can also do is we can set up a massive support block here. Not a support block, sorry, a Fibonacci retracement. So we can take that level there, and we're going to remove the larger fib from the background so it's less distracting. Now, this fib technically is still not valid because we haven't broken below the 0.236. We have to get down to this level for this fib to be valid, because otherwise, we could still be printing higher highs from here onwards. So we need to see the retest of the 0.236, then we can start targeting some of the levels to the downside. However, I don't think we're going to be dropping back down to $58, nor are we going to be dropping down to $46 for that matter, because this is going to be too low. Unless there is a massive black swan event, which is going to drag the entire market to the downside. Only in that situation would I see Solana coming back down below $50. Otherwise, if you did not buy down at these prices, you have missed out on them, unfortunately. But there are other altcoins you can look at. Don't think this is the end of the world by any means. We're still not in the bull market per se. The halving is 2 months away. So you still have a bit of time left to pick and choose your altcoins carefully. So these are a few levels here for you to target. 83.6, 76.9, or rather $77. Just make sure you don't have any round numbers. You have $67, $66, which is based on these few touches here. Then you have $58.50. And you can set up a bunch of these buy limit orders in advance in case we have the flash crash when you're asleep. That's going to be really helpful. Now let's switch over to the weekly chart. And before we continue with the video, I quickly want to mention my Patreon that's linked down below in the description. If you enjoy my content, you want to get more exclusive content, and you want to support me at the same time, definitely feel free to check out the Patreon, because you're going to get a 7-day free access on my Patreon and an instant access to all of my content since October 2021, which is when I started. You'll get access to content like exclusive weekly podcasts, and we're starting to invite guests already. We have 40+ low cap gem posts. We have a bunch of project reviews. We have a bunch of resources that are going to help you save time and make more money with this upcoming bull market. So this is definitely a great exchange of value for the both of us. And once again, there's a 7-day 7-day free trial. Feel free to check it out. You can leave anytime, and let's continue with the video. Taking a look at the weekly. So we are overextended from the 20 EMA. This is a bearish signal in terms of us coming back down to retest a major support level. So in this instance, if we take a look at the Fibonacci that we have set up from the bottom here in January 2023 to the top in November 2021, we are hitting our head on the 786 Fibonacci level. From there, we're potentially, printing a double top here, printing a double top pattern before we inevitably have a retracement back down to approximately $80, which is where the 20 EMA is. So I would be targeting the 20 EMA on the weekly chart. That's going to be your fair entry point. And you can target the 20 EMA throughout the bull market. For example, in a few months, once we have the retracement from the next leg up, whenever that may happen, once we come back down to the 20 EMA, that's going to be a really good entry point. That's going to be your optimal entry point during that time. If we dip below the 20 EMA, that's even better for you because you can retest the 55, maybe sometimes the 200 EMA, which isn't very likely during a bull market, although you should have the 200 EMA out as well because I do have it here on my chart. You can also pull out the 80 EMA, you can pull out the 100 EMA, but for the most part, you want to be targeting the 20 and the 55 in case things go south. But if we're down retesting the 55 EMA, usually that's a negative sign because if you're looking at this bull market here, you can see that we only kept bouncing off the 20 EMA here. Then we retested the 55. From there, it was a lower high and a bear market, right? So when we break below the 20 all the way down to the 55, that is a very, very bad sign. Generally speaking, it doesn't mean that we're going into the bear 100%, but as you can see per this example here, this was your precursor to the bear market. So that's also important information there. Taking a look at the RSI, we're absolutely overbought here. You do not want to be buying at the current levels, in my opinion. I would not be getting into Solana at the current levels. In fact, what I would do is I would wait for retest of this block above us between 62 to 57.5 on the RSI. That's where I would be entering. That's where I think the next retracement is going to take us down to, if not lower, if not lower than that. It is possible we might go lower into this red block, but the blue block here is what we need to retest at the very least. The stochastic is also in the overbought. The volume is coming up real good here. As you can see, the breakouts are confirmed across the board, like on every single time frame, and every single resistance level has been broken through, and we did that like a boss. Like we essentially destroyed all of these resistance levels. We melted through them, and what we need to do now is secure a massive support level, which from what I'm seeing is going to be the golden ratio here with the 20 EMA and with this support level at approximately $80, which is a bounce that we saw back in March 2022 and over here in January 2024. So if we can secure ourselves above $80, we should be good to go for the next leg up. That is my opinion. And if we take a look at a potential Elliott wave structure that we have going on here, so you can see we have wave 1, wave 2, then we have this massive wave 3, and now we're going to be looking for that wave 4 pullback potentially, and the wave 5 taking us to, $600 maybe even slightly below that. But this is the Elliott wave structure that we're looking at into 2025 essentially. But this is just a vague example of what we're looking at. We could absolutely continue blasting and through the resistance levels here get to, by March, April 2024, we can get to $250, then have a pullback from there, and then after that we head to a massive final wave 5 taking us to $600 in 2025 sometime. That's what ideally we're going to be looking at here. So wave 4 obviously cannot go anywhere lower below wave 1 top, which I don't think is going to be happening in this instance anyway. And that's pretty much it for this video. I want to thank you all for watching. Stay safe, guys. Let me know what are your targets to the upside for Solana, and take care.